The Human Centipede. If you haven't heard of this movie, where have you been, brother? This is probably like the most well-known controversial film like ever in existence. I feel like this is it, anyone who watches horror and anyone who doesn't watch horror, they know the name the Human Centipede because it's kind of it's like a big deal, okay? It's a big meme. I am forcing myself to watch the Human Centipede. I've already seen this movie multiple times, don't ask me why, but I'm going to watch it again and review it. Now, if you don't know what this movie is, somehow, buckle up. Okay, this is a 2009 film directed by Tom Six, okay? And that guy went off to direct The Human Centipede 2 and The Human Centipede 3. Yes, there are 3 Human Centipede movies. There's 3 of them. Don't you worry, you're getting a review on all of them eventually, but for today, we're just doing the first entry, okay? Now, the entire marketing for this movie was it's 100% medically accurate, okay? So everything depicted in this film is all fake, but technically it could be real, all right? Everything is realistic and doctors approve that this operation can exist and probably has existed somewhere. Now, what operation might that be, you may ask? Well, it's literally just a German doctor who like abducts 3 people, 3 strangers, and just sews their mouths to the other stranger's asshole, and they walk around like a dog, or a centipede, if you will. But it's made more like a dog. This movie is 92 minutes long, okay? And in my opinion, is so funny, and I love torturing people with this movie. So now I get to torture the entire world, all right? I get to torture everyone who's watching this video with this movie. You're very welcome, okay? And that's it. Me and Gerald here are gonna go watch The Human Centipede. He absolutely loves all 3 of these movies. All right, they're some of his favorite. So he's very excited for today, and we're gonna watch the movie. And then I'll come back and tell you everything that happens. How's that sound? Now, if you're new here to this channel, then oh my good God, you found the best channel on YouTube. Congratulations. Go check out all of my videos. I do a bunch of horror movie reviews and extreme cinema reviews and physical media reviews and anything to do with horror. It's probably on the channel and it's growing. We're growing. Okay, so we're almost at 500 subscribers. I have huge videos, 2 huge videos for my 500 subscriber special. So please, dear God, get me there. We're 20 subscribers away. So just keep it going. All right, keep going. I'm also trying to get to 1,000 by the end of the year. All right, monetize me, please. Give me at least a little bit of money from torturing myself by watching all of these. Please, okay, please. So I think like 80-something%, maybe 90% of you just aren't subscribed. So that kind of sucks. All right, don't. Why are you doing this to me? But yeah, please subscribe. And enjoy the rest of the video. Alright, me and Gerald are back. We are back from watching The Human Centipede. You're not supposed to see that. You didn't see that. I will hereby make this statement public. The Human Centipede first sequence should be considered a comedy. It is so entertaining for me to watch. Okay, I find this way funnier than it should be. It is genuinely hilarious. Okay, the first time you watch it, you're kind of like, oh my God, this is a terrible movie. Like, everything that's happening is terrible. But, like, if you just kind of sit back, don't take it too seriously, it is so funny to watch. Does that make me a psychopath? Maybe. Okay, it might. Okay, but once again, this isn't real. So, therefore, I find it funny because these are... Let me set the setting for you real quick, okay? We have 2 main characters. We have Jenny and we have Lindsay, okay? And both of them are trying to get to a nightclub, all right? They're from New York, but right now they're in Germany, okay? So they're trying to find a nightclub in Germany. So naturally, they drive their car at midnight in the middle of the woods, okay? And they have no idea where they are, and they're just looking for a nightclub. I don't know why they're in the woods, okay? I don't know what kind of nightclub this is, but they're in the middle of nowhere, and oh no, they hit something and their tire goes flat. They have a flat tire. So they pull over because we all know once you get a flat tire, your vehicle physically cannot move anymore. So they're like, oh, we're stranded. We're stranded in the middle of the woods at midnight in a foreign country that we've never been to before, and we cannot move because we have a flat tire. Our wheel physically cannot move anymore. And to add on top of it, it starts pouring. So they get out of their car. They're like, we're going to start venturing through the woods because maybe someone can help. So they start walking through the woods, and oh my god, they find a house. They find this really nice, cool house surrounded by trees because once again, middle of the woods, this is not a neighborhood. There's just a house. It's like the Blair Witch Project, but it's not abandoned. It's just like a rich guy version of that house. And they go up, they're screaming, they're like, cause they're pouring, they wore their nice dresses and now they're getting all wet. They're like, please God help us, somebody open the door. And we are greeted with a very inviting looking German man, okay? This man, let me tell you something. This guy is the live action adaptation of Rango. He looks exactly like a chameleon, okay? Like the lizard that Johnny Depp plays. That's him. That is him in the flesh, okay? It's not even CGI. It's just, this is the human version of, I almost said iguana. I mean, he looks very reptilian, okay? So he asks these two damsels in distress if they're alone. And they're like, yeah, we're the only ones here. Can you see anybody else? So he's like, yeah, all right, come in. And he sits them down on this couch, and then he's like, do you want drink? And they're like, sure. And so this guy goes and gets them water, but oh my god, he drugs the water. So he gets these pills out of this drawer, he puts them in, they dissolve, he gives it to him. And this is an inside joke with like my friend group, which has slowly turned into just me and my friend. So now I am letting you guys know about this inside joke, so feel special. This man says water in a very, very entertaining way. I think we all thought it was extremely funny. He gets the glasses, he's got two of them, he's like, water, water,
Water.
water. I don't know, he says water pretty funny and I enjoy it quite a bit. So, there you go. Wasn't that hilarious? Isn't that such a funny thing? So he drugs them, one of them passes out, the other one kind of is like throwing up all over the place because she didn't finish the water, and then he just injects her with this stuff and makes her pass out. So now he has obtained two women. They should have known. Why would they go to that house in the middle of the woods? I don't know. This man's house is filled with images of Siamese twins, like babies, like that are like conjoined together. So we find out that this guy actually has just a man in his basement, but his basement is actually very nice. Okay, it's not a torture chamber. It is literally just a small operating room. Okay, it is very nice, very pristine. All right, he's got 3 beds laid out down there, like hospital beds down there, with like IV drips and stuff. Like he's got it decked out back, like in his basement. And he straps them all there, and there's already just this trucker that's down there, like this very large man. And he leans over, he's like, you don't match. I'm sorry, buddy, but your blood type, it ain't right. I'm just gonna have to kill you. So he kills the man by injecting him with unknown liquids into his veins, and the trucker dies. Okay, so that poor guy was sedated while he was taking a crap on the side of the road and was brought into here only just to be killed because his blood type was wrong. So now that the trucker's out of the way and he's gone, he's dead, I think he just buried him in the backyard next to his Rottweilers that he conjoined together, but I'll get to that in a second. We don't know how this happens, but the next scene, the doctor is coming out of his car with just a man, like just a Japanese man, like hung over his shoulder, and he just walks into the house because he acquired a new victim, and apparently his blood type is correct, but he speaks 0 English. Okay, so we have these 2 English women who are speaking, this German guy who knows how to speak English, but he's kind of hard to understand sometimes, or maybe that's just me, and just this Japanese man who does not know like anything anyone is saying. And no one knows what he's saying either, and he's like one of the main characters, which I find extremely entertaining. But also, the doctor has now adopted this amazing trench coat. Like, he's got a really cool, like, lab coat. He had a really cool one when he was coming out of the car, but he also has, like, a really cool lab coat, and it's, like, so awesome, and I just wanted to point that out. He's got great style. He wears that coat consistently throughout the film, thank God, because he's actually, like, he looks pretty awesome, even though he does look like an iguana and a chameleon and every other reptile combined. But he's got good style at least. And now we have the presentation, okay? Because now all of them are literally strapped to these tables. All right, they are handcuffed and their feet cuffed. Some of them are gagged. And they just have to watch this man put on an entire presentation, which I am going to reenact word for word for you right now, actually. I have to warn you that this is going to be like the worst German accent you've ever heard, but you're gonna have to listen to this anyway, because you're trapped here, and now you can't leave. See me standing up and stuff? Okay. No, this is good. This is good. Pretend that there's like a horrible diagram of like 3 people on their knees with like their faces smushed into each other's asses. And just pretend I'm pointing to that, okay? Okay, so we're role-playing right now. You right now are strapped to a medical bed, okay? You are strapped and there's a ball gag in your mouth, okay? We're not going in that direction, but that's you right now. So wherever you are, just lay down and pretend like you can't talk, you can't scream, and you can't move any of your limbs, okay? Cool. I'm the doctor. I have a really cool trench coat. Hold on. Okay, so just pretend that this trench coat is white because he had a white lab coat, but I don't have that. But I do have a really cool trench coat for you, so... Alright, role-playing starting now. I'm walking into the room. Pretend that there's, like, a human centipede on the board.
I am Dr. Joseph Highdale.
I don't know what his name was.
Retired but still known as the leading surgeon in separating Siamese twins.
Retired, but still very well known as the leading surgeon in separating Siamese twins.
He's very nasally, okay? There is no airway coming through his nose, okay? There is nothing. That is blocked off. That road is closed.
I've designed an operation no longer separating but combining. And he says a bunch of other stuff, but combining, dogs and stuff.
He did actually combine his dogs. He had 3 Rottweilers, and he sewed all of their muzzles to their assholes, and that was just his pet for a while until it died. So he's kind of obsessed with like this human dogipede. That doesn't make any sense. His dogipede. The dog centipede. There you go. Yeah. So now he's gonna form them into people instead of dogs.
We start by cutting the ligaments in the kneecaps, so that leg extension is no longer possible. Pulling from B and C, the central incisors, the lateral incisors, and the canines. From the upper and lower jaws.
The upper and lower jaws.
The lips from B and C, and the anus from A and B are cut in a circular motion.
And put together and stuff, and they sew them. I'm gonna sew you together ass from mouth, okay? That's what's gonna happen. You're gonna turn into a dog, okay? So I'm gonna feed the front head, and then he's just gonna into your mouth, and that's how you're gonna survive. That's basically what he said. He kept going, but I'm not gonna keep doing this because this is probably not very entertaining. So that's basically what he did. He gave a whole speech. It was long and drawn out, and it was a nice little diagram that it looks like, I don't know. It was a cool little diagram. Yeah, maybe I can just hold this for the rest of the time. Wow, I'm looking at an anus right now. Maybe I should change the screen. But yeah, they all start screaming and crying because nobody wants to be sewn ass to mouth. I'm sure some people would like that. God, I don't really want to think about that. But he gives that whole speech, and then he ends up going like, he's like,
the Siamese triplet, or the human centipede.
Whoa! That's the name of the movie! The Human Centipede! So that's what they're going to turn into. So yeah, he sedates 2 of them. So the Japanese man, he's literally screaming the entire time, so you can barely hear any of the speech. It was actually very annoying, but, I'd probably be screaming too. But he was sedated, thank God. And one of the other girls was also sedated, but the other one managed to slip free of both her feet and handcuffs and decided to run. But guess what? the IV was still stuck in her forearm, which means when she ran away from her operating table, that's not her bed, she ripped the IV that was down here, or like up here. No, it was actually like down here. I don't actually know why it was down there. But she ripped it and it went all the way up her arm. Ugh, that is the worst scene. It is terrible to watch. That is, if you don't like needles, okay, if you've ever had an IV in your arm, which I've had far too many, not good. Okay, seeing that scene is, terrible. But she's bleeding all over the place. She runs around the house. It's this whole scene where he's trying to chase her and stuff. It does not matter at all. She winds up in his pool. He has an indoor in-ground pool, okay? So she winds up in the pool. She's bleeding all over, which also kind of pissed me off a little bit because I'm like, you're ruining the pool right now. This guy, this doctor who's chasing her currently, is hitting stances and poses that mankind has never seen before. Like they go unreasonably hard. All of them are just so good. I love this man. Okay, this doctor who turns out that he's actually like a former Nazi who was, separating Siamese twins and stuff. But either way, he's super cool.
No.
Probably shouldn't make that. Don't clip that. The villain is really cool. Okay, even though he is so, it's so good. He's like one of the best movie villains of all time. Okay, because he's hitting. Here's a few stances like this one, and this one, and this one. Like, look at that. All of those could be album covers. Okay, somebody needs to make a thirst trap montage of this man. Can somebody please do that for me? So I need a montage with like I need an edit of this guy. There we go. That's the word. I need the hardest edit of this man anyone has ever seen. But she ends up locking herself in his bedroom, and he has a picture of his dog, his Siamese dog that he sewed together. He has it framed on his nightstand. Okay, he's a little bit, he's got a little something wrong in his brain. He's got a few screws loose, but breaks the window open to get to her so that he can bring her back down to the beds. Alright, so he's got them all down there, they're all sedated, and now we have the scene of the operation, okay? And honestly, this operation scene, not nearly as bad as I thought it was going to be. When I first watched this, I thought it was going to be like very, very terrible, but it's actually pretty short, okay? They show him pulling 2 front teeth out, and they also show him cutting into this guy's like booty cheeks. Alright, so that's pretty gross. And he also gets blood on his hands from this guy's booty cheeks, and he starts scratching his head. So now he's just got ass blood on his forehead. I thought that was something very notable that I needed to share with all of you, but it was just like, what? Why? Why are we doing what? But he does it. He has it. He gets himself a drink when he's all done, and the next scene, we have the 3 of them that are completely conjoined into the human centipede, the Siamese triplet. Oh my god, they're there. They're all passed out, and he's waiting for them to wake up, okay? They all start waking up. We have the Japanese guy in the front. And the 2 girls in the back, alright? The one who ran away, he slapped her in the middle, okay? So that's the worst position. He's like, you ran away, now you get to be the centerpiece. How's that feel? So he wakes them up, he stands them up, they start crying because, they're all conjoined ass to mouth now, so that's not really something to be too stoked about. Their knees are cut just like the presentation that I gave. If you paid attention, you would know that. I'd be such a good professor. They can't extend their knees, so they're on all fours. You can see it clear as day right now. And he gets out a mirror. Okay, he gets out a mirror and he's showing them all of these. And while they're sobbing, he's crying tears of joy. This guy starts, actually crying tears of joy while showing them in a mirror. He's holding a mirror, showing them their work, and he's like, while he's showing them his greatest work. And then he takes the mirror and starts making out with himself in the mirror. Something tells me, after collecting data from this movie, that this man might be, there's about more than a 10% chance this guy could be a narcissist. I don't know for sure, okay? I'm not gonna jump to conclusions here, but I'm pretty sure he thinks he's God. Alright, and now this is the second half of the movie, okay? We have finally got to the point where we have this human centipede, and I am now entirely convinced after watching this for the fourth time that he just misses his dog. Okay, he misses his Siamese dog. He just really wanted another pet, and the only way apparently in his brain to have another pet was to just find three helpless people and sew them together. Because the rest of the movie is just him training this like he got a new puppy. Okay, this is the rest of the movie is him literally treating them like a dog that he just got. Because the next scene, he locks them in a dog cage. That's where they sleep, but they can't lay down in the cage because it's small. Alright, it's small for three people, and so they're just kind of screaming. But he keeps them in a dog cage. He keeps them in a cage. Okay, he brings them outside to the backyard to play games. Like, he grabs a newspaper, he shoves it in the Japanese guy's mouth, who, by the way, has a Playboy bunny tattoo on his shoulder. I thought that was notable. None of them have clothes on, by the way. But he puts the newspaper in his mouth, and he walks like 3 feet away from his new dog, and he tries to get the Japanese man and the other two attached to him to come bring the newspaper to him. Okay, so he's literally training them. I'm gonna reenact this again. So he literally, it's so funny. It is so funny. He grabs the newspaper. I don't have a newspaper, but let's just say newspaper, all right? Gives it to the dog, all right? And then he stands over here. He's like, come here, come on, come here, get over here, get that newspaper over here, come on. He gets them so hyped up, and he's so excited to get this dog to come and come to him, but unfortunately, this man isn't cooperating. Okay, he doesn't bring the newspaper to his master. Okay, he just keeps dropping it. It's annoying. All right, why don't you just walk over and give it to him? All right, you just accept your new life as a dog and go over and give him the newspaper. Okay, he was getting so hyped up. He was so excited for his Siamese dog to go and give him the newspaper, and he kept dropping it. All right, it was rude. Quite frankly, disrespectful. But on to the other dog activities. He eats out of a dog bowl, alright? So he gives him, I think it was like beans or something. Probably. Honestly, it was probably beans. I don't know exactly what it was because I didn't really pay attention too much because I've seen this movie so many times. But he eats out of a dog bowl, and the Japanese man decides to walk over and bite the guy's ankle. He bites the doctor's ankle pretty bad. He starts bleeding pretty good. And so the doctor drop kicks his head like twice, and then he shoves both of his fingers up his nose and holds his head up. It's like I was watching a cartoon. Like, what are we doing right now? Like, what? That's an actual move that you can pull on somebody? Like, I didn't even know that was an option. So he's holding the whole weight of his head up by his nostrils, and he's threatening this man because he just bit him. He's like, don't ever bite me again. Now eat your food. I really should not be enjoying this movie as much as I am. But the next scene, he brings him back out to the yard to keep doing some cool tricks. I'm surprised he didn't get them to roll over or try and sit down or something like that. I don't know how they would sit, but roll over I feel like that they could do. He, once again, amazing style. This guy has new boots on. He's got these almost knee-high boots they're so slick, they're so shiny and leathery and black, and I mean, oh, dude, I need that. I need to dress up like this man, okay? Because boy has some style to him, let me tell you. And he's like, go ahead and bite my ankle now, huh? Go on and bite my boot. Bite my boot. And he was really insistent on it. And instead, the Japanese man walks away and then immediately starts, immediately. He turns away from the doctor. He's like, my tummy. But he said that in Japanese because he doesn't speak English. And so he starts relieving himself into the woman's mouth, who is attached to his ass. But honestly, the scene's not too bad. This movie is almost entirely psychological. All right, there really aren't that many scenes that are visually gross. It's just really horribly disturbing for your mind. And being that psychological things don't really get to me that much, and the fact that I've already seen this movie and tortured other people with it multiple times, I got to sit back and enjoy the scene of them. doing that. So the doctor is literally screaming while he's taking a crap, okay? And he's like, feed her! Yes! Feed her! It's really strange. I don't know. He was kind of screaming quite a bit. He also has like this dominatrix whip. It's not even like an actual whip. It's like very clearly they just went to like the back of Spencer's and got like the first thing that they saw. They're like, this is perfect. Or maybe it might be one of those things that you whip horses with, because it kind of looks like that. Those are kind of two in the same. But yeah, that scene's not really too terrible. It's just them groaning all of the time. And it's just the thought of it happening is really gross. Then the next scene, the doctor is completely naked, zero clothes on, and we get to see him skinny dipping in his pool. Okay, so he's swimming around in his pool, and he's got the human centipede just standing by the side of the pool, not doing anything. It is pretty nice to see like the owner swimming with his dog. You know, it's nice to see some quality time with his new animals, because a lot of time people just get dogs and just kind of like ignore them. So kind of including your own new pet in the activities that you do, such as skinny dipping in your home, it's kind of heartwarming to see, honestly. So after he's done, well, while he's skinny dipping, the dog decides to run away, but they can't run because they're on all fours and they're sewn together. So he starts walking into the hallway extremely slowly. So I don't know where he thinks he's going in the time that this man's underwater, but he starts shuffling towards the hallway. And the doctor, before they even get to the hallway, the doctor gets out and puts his robe on and stands in front of the door. He's like, where you going, bud? He's like, you know what? After you. Go on. No, please. After you. And he lets his new dog through the hallway, lets them take like 3 steps, gets his dominatrix whip out, and starts beating them in the hallway, which we unfortunately don't get to see. We get to hear it audibly. Once again, almost entirely psychological. I'm pretty sure that is considered animal abuse, and, you know, I'm glad it was off screen, or else that would make me very uncomfortable. I don't like seeing animals get beat very much. Also, this is a joke, by the way, because I just want to make that clear. I am joking. Okay, this is... I'm trying to make you laugh, all right? So laugh, please. All right, so now he brings the dog... I don't know what the human centipede, sorry, into his basement again, and he realizes that the back part of the centipede, that girl, I don't know which one it is. I don't know if it's Jenny or Lindsay. I don't care. But it's the curly-haired one. Her entire face is infected, all right? So the stitches that go from her mouth all the way up to the side of her ear, completely infected. And there is a really disgusting scene of him, like, squeezing her face and having this bright yellow liquid come out. It is actually disgusting. So that scene and the IV scene, both, no, they're by 2 different people, but really gross. That's what I just gotta say. It's just, that's a visual part of this movie that's, like, really, really disgusting. And he leans in, he's like... I think you might be dying. But yeah, he's like, I think you're dying. You're, sorry. You're infected. You're gonna die. So she's like, well, I mean, she can't really say anything because her mouth's kind of gone, but, you know. But while he's breaking the news to this woman, he gets a call, all right? And it's his doorbell. Did you follow that? It's his doorbell, and oh my god, it's the police. It's the police. So he goes up, he answers the door. The police, they're like, can we come in? He's like, I guess. They go into the same couch. He hands them some water. To both of them, you'll never guess what's in the water. Drugs. He's trying to drug the cops. And they're like, do you know anything about, like, these missing people? Their car is, like, not that far down the road. And people said that they heard them screaming on your property, which I don't know who the hell they're talking about, because he's in the middle of nowhere. So I don't know who at midnight was like, you know, I think I hear screaming on that guy's property. I don't know who that was, but, you know, it doesn't matter. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Please get out of my house. I'm a very busy man. And they're like, okay, we're just going to come back with a warrant instead. And he's like, all right. And mind you, one of the cops drank all of the water. He drank the entire thing and was completely unfazed by the drugs that he was drugged with. So I don't know what's going on there. The other guy did not drink the water. He just smacked it out of his hand because he's intelligent. Because why would you drink this water that's not from a water bottle, it's from tap, that you didn't even see him prepare, at a random German man's house in the middle of the woods, who looks like that and who also has like random fetus pictures around his house. Why would you drink the water? And plus, this guy's a detective. He's a detective and a cop, and he downed that tap water because he was drowning. He was not drowning. He was dying of thirst. Why would you do that? The other guy was at least smart. But either way, they leave and they're like, we're gonna come back in 20 minutes with a warrant. Okay, so he's like, all right, go away, please. Fine, whatever, doesn't matter. You can't look at my laboratory until you have a warrant. So he goes back downstairs and his dog's gone. Okay, he had them. I don't know how this happened. I do not know. They were literally on top of a table. The dog was on top of he had them 3 feet off the ground on this table. I don't know how he got them up there. When he went to talk to the cops and came back, they got down. There was no ramp. Okay? So I don't know how they launched themselves off of the table without killing themselves, but it conveniently didn't show us how that happened. But it turns out they grabbed a knife. They grabbed an X-Acto knife and were hiding behind a corner. Okay, a human centipede was hiding around the corner in the cellar, and the doctor comes around the corner. The guy stabs his foot and then bites a chunk out of his neck. And instead of taking the knife out of the shin of this man, who he also stabbed his shin, that's why he was in a shin. Instead of taking the knife out and stabbing him brutally multiple times with the knife, do you know what he did? He hobbled away. The human centipede, the Siamese triplet, the new puppy, walked away from this man who was not even unconscious. Okay, they phased him a little bit. That's it. They stabbed his foot and took a little chunk out of his neck. He bit a chunk out of his neck instead of stabbing it with the knife. This happens in every single movie, and I am so unbelievably tired of seeing it happen so many times. But don't worry, because this human centipede, they're walking away, frantically hobbling away. The good thing is, in order to get out of the house, they need to go up a spiral staircase. That is where that is the only way out, is a wooden spiral staircase for this human centipede to crawl up. So we have a scene of them struggling to crawl up this staircase. And then the doctor wakes up and starts army crawling after him, even though his other leg's completely okay. He could just stand up and start hopping, but he drags himself on the ground with his arms after this human centipede. The human centipede walks into the bedroom where the girl previously tried to get out by locking her. Well, I guess she didn't try and get out, but the entire window was shattered by the guy with the gun. They walk over to the window and oh my god, plot twist, even though we saw it earlier and I didn't mention it, he replaced the glass window. Their one way out of this house has been replaced already. Now we are faced with the final showdown. The human centipede versus the German Nazi doctor, where he army crawls into the room with the X-Acto knife that he took out of his own shin because the human centipede didn't do that. And they try breaking the glass window with this lamp that he got off of the nightstand, but ended up just picking up a shard of glass. He turns towards him. Okay, he's got this shard of glass in his hand. He turns toward the doctor, who's slowly army crawling with this X-Acto knife. They're at the same level now. They're seeing eye to eye. It's like really long and drawn out and dramatic. And the Japanese man has this entire speech about how the doctor thinks he's God, but he's not God. He's just an insect. Alright, he's microscopic compared to the world. And then he stops insulting the doctor and starts insulting himself and being like, I left my kid and I shut my family out, and I've been living like an insect, less than an insect. I'm worthless, and this is my punishment. He says this whole speech in Japanese, which no one can understand him. Okay, the doctor is looking at him like a deer in headlights because he doesn't know Japanese. He has no idea what this man is saying. I love how they put the Japanese man in front, the only one that doesn't speak English in the entire cast. He's the only one that no one understands at all. And he's having this entire speech, and the Japanese man, the one who's saying the speech, is the only one who understands what he's saying. And instead of taking the shard of glass and fighting him to death, instead of killing the doctor, this was his second chance to kill the doctor and find another way out, he takes the shard of glass and he slits his own throat with it and kills himself in the bedroom of this Nazi doctor, leaving the two women who are sewed to him to die. He's the head of the Centipede. He's the one who has to guide them. So not only was he killing himself, but he also purposely killed the other two people attached to him because he felt bad about what he did in his past, instead of fighting the doctor. The doctor didn't even do anything. He just left him there. He's bleeding out in the carpet, and he just turned around and army crawled out of the room and shut the door. Because the cops are back. No! They're back with a warrant, I think. They didn't even show the warrant. So he was like, oh no, I can't walk and I'm all bloody. They're gonna find my new dog. The dog's kind of like 1/3 dead right now, so he drags himself to his pool area and just kind of sits there. He hears the police blow open the door with their revolvers and they start swatting the house, alright? And the guy who drank the water starts feeling the effects of the drugs right now, okay? 30 minutes after he drank the drugged water, now he starts throwing up conveniently. The other guy who didn't drink the water because he's not dumb found his operation room in the cellar and also found the human centipede and just left them there. He ran somewhere else because he heard a gunshot. He runs into the pool area. His partner is face down in the pool, bleeding out. And somehow, the doctor, off screen, got up, got the gun, shot him, and threw him into the pool, even though he can't even walk. And he's like bleeding out. In time for the other cop to show up, where the doctor shot him twice in the stomach. And while he's having his dramatic, oh my god, I got shot death, the cop no-scopes him right between the eyes. The doctor is now dead. He got shot in the forehead. It was the best shot anyone has ever taken in any film ever. No, I don't think he aimed. That is extremely impressive. Okay, that's crazy. And guess what? So the doctor's dead, the partner's dead, and he falls face first into the pool and also dies. So now both of the cops are dead, the doctor's dead, the head of the human centipede is dead, and now we have a scene of the woman who's infected, her whole face is infected, dies a slow, painful death, and now it's just this woman, the one who tried to run away, the middle piece, whose mouth is sewn to a dead corpse's ass, and who a corpse is sewn to her ass, and she cannot move, is just there. She's the only one who's alive, and guess what? That's it. We're done. Movie's done. All done. That's it. The camera pans off into the sunset. There's no sunset. Off into the sky, and that's it. That's the end of the movie. Did you have fun? That is the human centipede first sequence. Did you enjoy that? Because I kind of did. I actually did. That's really messed up to say that I enjoyed the human centipede after watching it for the third, I think it's only the third time. But compared to every other movie that I have reviewed in this series, this was the best one. Alright, this was, if I had to pick any of those movies to watch again, besides maybe Mermaid in a Manhole, I really like that movie. I mean, it is so unbelievably refreshing to watch an actual structured movie. Even though the subject matter is terrible, okay? Horrible. It's so good to just watch a movie that isn't just someone being tortured the entire time. It's so good to watch a movie that has audio to it, okay? It's so refreshing and it's so nice. It is insane for me to say that watching The Human Centipede gave me peace, but it did. Okay, it did. I like that movie compared to all of those other ones. It's pretty good. The acting's pretty bad, but it's actually not that bad, is what I mean. The acting is not too terrible. It's pretty bad, but most of the time they don't have to speak because their mouths are occupied with other people's crap, so, you know, they don't really have to worry about talking too much. It's so nice. I'm going to start crying tears of joy. I should hold up a mirror and start making out with myself now like that guy did. So nice. I really don't have anything to say about this movie. Everybody knows what this movie is. Absolutely ridiculous. Would I recommend it? Absolutely not. I mean, if you're into extreme horror and you somehow haven't seen this, then I'd recommend giving it a watch. It's really not terribly extreme. But Gerald's gore score, let's see it. Thank you, buddy. Yep, that's what was that? Dude, speak up. 3 out of 10 for the gore score. There's like barely any gore in this movie at all, besides the operation scene, which was like 2 seconds long, and the scene where her arm gets ripped open by the IV, which is, I stand by it, the worst part of the entire movie. There is never going to be a time where I see that like scene and I'm like okay with like living, you know, because I immediately just want to die as soon as I see that scene. God, I'm never going to be at the point where I can just comfortably sit and watch that scene ever. It's really terrible. But now we have, see that? That was smooth. That was a lot more smoother. Yep. There we go. See that? That's the miniature human centipede. And before I watched this movie, I thought it was actually going to be like a mutant centipede where it like ran like really fast and stuff. Because this is a very deceiving cover. That would be a cool concept. Giant mutant centipede, human centipede. That would be pretty cool. So, all right, let's get out the board of extremity, shall we? So that is my bad. I did forget to bring the movie over while I was describing it, for you to have something to look at. I'm not gonna do a joke like that. That's disrespectful. So I apologize. Also, where's the sign? All right, isn't that cool? I buttoned up my I look super stylish. I know you're jealous, and this is going to be the most stylish How Extreme Is It episode you've ever seen, because this is the board of extremity, everybody. If you don't know what this is, then get with the times, okay? Come on, let's go. This is the board of extremity made by me in 4th grade, basically. But we have 5 stages of grief, including the most extreme movie, which I think you can see. That's good. We have 1, which is green. That's barely extreme. We have 2, it's not terrible, which is white. We have 3, it's uncomfy, which is yellow. 4, that's pretty bad, which is orange. And scarring, which is 5, which is red. Okay. Those are the colors of despair. And now I get to rank the small version of the human centipede on the board of extremity, alongside all of the other videos that I've made. So please, God, just go watch all of them, because I've made 13 of these, including this one. In 3, 2, 1. Yes, sir. Oh, you see that? Bang! That's white. That is a not terrible. Oh my God, we haven't had a not terrible since the very first episode of How Extreme Is It, which is technically the first video that I have on my channel. All right, the first video was actually my Halloween special where I reviewed the Halloween box set, but I was unaware that I uploaded just raw footage instead of the edited version, and that stayed up for like months, and I was unaware, so I had to take that down. So technically my first video on my channel is my review of All Hallows Eve, which is the only other one in the category of not terrible, because it's not, all right? It's not that bad. It is all entirely psychological, so if psychological stuff really messes with you, then this will probably be higher, but I think it's fair, because it is a very, very good psychological film. It will mess you up a little bit if you are not into extreme horror movies, but if you are withered such as I feel like this is a fair spot to put it. Me personally, it would go in barely extreme, because it is so entertaining to me, but I just want to be as fair as possible, whereas I'm pretty sure people would agree that it's really not that bad. Okay, compared to those, this is not that bad. Okay, compared to the other human centipede movies, this is not that bad. Okay, it is entertaining. If you know how to have fun, it'll be a fun watch. Okay, but that's it. That's the ranking. Here, let me bring these in a little closer for you to... Yeesh. See that? Those are all the films. Those are all the movies that I've reviewed. I'm not going to list all of them because that's just going to take too long. But there you go. Right next to All Hallows Eve. Right there. Not terrible. Number 2. Pretty awesome. I feel like that's fair. And if you also think that's fair, let me know in the comments. And if you think that this should be somewhere else, then also let me know. If any of my rankings are wrong, in your opinion, if my opinion is completely incorrect, then let me know, because I'd love to hear your thoughts. I haven't had anyone agree or disagree with any of my rankings because I don't think anyone actually watches until this point in the video. But you know what? That's okay because you were here for the review and you already watched the part that you liked, so thank you for watching anyway. But if you did watch to the end of the video, thank you. Thank you so much. I like you. You're cool. All right? You're awesome. Me and Gerald both thank you so much for watching this video. If you've watched all the way to the end, aka right now, number one, subscribe, okay? Once again, if you're watching at this point in the video and you aren't subscribed, you are doing it to make me mad, okay? And that's not okay because I put a lot of effort into these and a lot of pain, a lot of tears. I have cried. And not any blood yet, but I'm sure that's going to be coming pretty soon down the road. And you haven't subscribed, I have no words. So please subscribe if you're at this point in the video. And if you want to get pinned, then Gerald has a nice little pin for you to type down in the comment section so that you can get pinned. Dude, I cannot say that. What is wrong with you? No. Dude, that's even worse. Okay, so I can't, Gerald is saying just unspeakable things. But if you comment down below, I have a human centipede in my basement as we speak. If you comment that down below, I will pin you immediately and you will never be unpinned, I promise you, okay? Thank Gerald for that. That was his third option. You don't even want to hear the first two that he spoke to me. So if you ever find yourself stranded in the middle of the woods, completely soaking wet with your best friend, looking for the bunker, aka the nightclub that they were trying to find, and you find this really nice house and stuff, and a nice German reptilian man shows up at that house and offers you some water. Don't take it, okay? Don't drink his tap water, all right? Unless you like the taste of ass.